Greetings viewers, or should I say buongiorno, because tonight we are going to make an Italian dish, pasta alla carbonara. It's very simple, it's really an Italian version of bacon and eggs, but it's a little bit more sophisticated, much better for seduction, to be honest, better than a wind-up gramophone. And it's not actually that difficult, but you have to get the timings pretty right and you have to be a bit quick off the mark. So it's slightly trickier than the shepherd's pie in that respect. But the ingredients are very simple. Now, if you're a purist, you will have spaghetti, you will have a chopped Italian bacon like pancetta, you will use pecorino romano cheese, and you will use some eggs, black pepper, all the usual cooking shit. However, this is unemployment tube. The idea is that we only use things that are available either from my cupboard of plenty down here or within a radius of 200 metres local shops. I have a small Tesco and a small Sainsbury's. So what we're actually using is some back bacon, normal sort of thing. We're using dried off-the-shelf pasta. You can use the fresh stuff. I actually think it's more difficult to cook and get right. And this stuff is cheap, pretty much foolproof. We're using Parmesan cheese. This is incredibly easy to get these days. You get it virtually everywhere. And we have 3 eggs. These eggs actually came from Richard Hammond's wife, Mindy. I mean, they came from chickens that Mindy Hammond keeps, not, you know. Don't write in with the fatuous comment, I've already thought of it and it wasn't funny anyway. Right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to prepare these ingredients. We'll jump ahead. I don't want to insult your intelligence. You need 2 pans, you need a bit of olive oil, you'll need some hot water from your kettle, you will need a plate or 2 in the oven, keeping warm. So, 2 rashers of back bacon have been chopped up into little pieces like that. You can use streaky if you want, you can use pretty much anything. I've even made this with bits of chopped up spam, and it was horrible. 2 lumps of Parmesan cheese, each about the size of a generous knob of butter. Then in that bowl I've broken 2 of the eggs. The third one we have to do something a bit clever with, and I'll show you that now. Now with the third egg we only want the yolk, which you have to separate from the white bit. The way to do this is get another bowl, break your egg, be careful not to let it all come out, and then, I don't know how well you can see this, break the shell in 2, and if you pass the yolk from one to the other, can you see? I lost a little bit there, but the white falls out into that bowl, and you can make a fashionable egg white omelette or, I don't know, a pavlova or something. Who gives a toss? So we've got 2 whole eggs, 1 just the yolk of an egg. That's very important. This is for 2 people, remember. Excuse me. Now, oh, by the way, today's tea towel is rules of the swimming pool. Remember this one, if you were around in the 1970s and went to the municipal baths? There's a lot of things that are missing on it. Nowhere does it say no urinating or defecating in the pool. Anyway, if you're making this for real, you should be able to do most of these things simultaneously, and the whole thing should take no longer than about 15 minutes if you're good. I'm splitting it up a bit so that I can describe it without this turning into just complete madness. You can put those egg whites to one side. What we're going to do now is mix the eggs up a bit. Now don't whisk them, don't introduce loads of air. We're not going to make scrambled eggs here, we just want it stirred together. Just give it a bit of a basic stir to start with. All the yolks are nicely broken up. So I don't know if you can see this without me getting it on the floor. Not really, but anyway, look, it's sort of eggy. It's all mixed up. It's a yellowy, orangey liquid. Then you take your special movie grater tool or your normal cheese grater, grate the Parmesan cheese into that mixture. I know this sounds weird, but it'll all make sense in a minute. So grate that, grate that, grate that into there. That's 1 piece. Give it a little bit of a stir. Remember, very gently. You want the egg to cover the cheese. All mixed up nicely. Don't be too aggressive about it. You'll make something else. We don't want lots of air in there. Just a bit of stirring. Okay. Other piece of cheese in the magic machine. I've been quite generous with the cheese here because I like it to taste pretty cheesy. Experiment. You can find. I mean, as I said last time, it's not critical. You can find your own measures. The great thing about the mouli grater is, at the end of your grating session, when you dismantle it, you get a bonus. I only got a really tiny one this time. You get a bonus little bit of cheese in the bottom there, which is yours. Nice bit of black pepper. Great thing about black pepper, apart from it making it peppery, obviously, is it gives the finished product a slightly sort of granular texture, which is what you're looking for. It's very nice. Makes it seem a bit more exotic. I'm just going to show you this. I'm sort of halfway through stirring it up. Hold on. There you go. There's the egg, cheese, and black pepper mix. That's about half stirred up. It still needs a bit more work, but the trick is go slowly. Okay, there are two pans on the go here. This one at the back, the slightly bigger one, has some water in it just coming to the boil. I'm going to put a tiny little pinch of the left-wing cooking salt in there, a little bit more than that actually. This one at the front has about a heaped teaspoon of olive oil in it. That's where we're going to cook the bacon. Now you might be wondering, why not a frying pan? You could get away with a frying pan. There's a good reason for using a saucepan, which will become clear later on. It's because of the way it retains the heat, apart from anything else. Now, measuring pasta. I think you stick your hand in a bag of pasta. I've got fairly normal sized hands, and you get a handful. That is about enough for one person. It doesn't look like it, it doesn't look like enough, but it sort of gets bigger magically. So we'll have two handfuls of pasta, including the bits that fell out, and the stuff that was on the floor. No, it's gone under the old cupboard. Never mind. Right, just wait for that to come back to the boil. Just going to get a slight stir around to make sure none of it is sort of sticking to each other or anything like that. Once it comes back to the boil, we can start timing it using the vintage stolen laboratory clock. Most of the packets will tell you that the pasta takes 12 or 13 minutes. Actually, go for about 10 or 11. So it remains al dente, that is slightly firm still, named after Alessandro Dente, who was one of the chefs at the courts of the Medici. That's just starting to simmer at the back, so I'll make sure this bloody thing's wound up. Yes, it is. There we go. We're looking for 10 minutes or so. Right, the front ring, this has the olive oil in it. We'll get a flame under that, get it nice and hot. We're going to put the bacon in there and fry it. That pan is a bit too small for that ring. It's better to have a more vigorous flame on a smaller ring, but that one is a bit crap and never works properly. Anyway, it's hot, so pick up your bits of bacon, chuck them in the oil, like so. Quickly wash your hands. And then give them a bit of a stir, make sure they're separated. Excuse me. And they're not going to stick to the pan. There you go, they're coated with a bit of oil. They can carry on cooking. They will take about 6 minutes, something like that. So we are 3.5 minutes into the pasta, which if the pasta takes 10 minutes means, yeah, we're going to be about right with the bacon. That's all there is to it as far as cooking is concerned. I know a girl whose veins are red. Would you like the balls? This is ready. That will be ready. What we're going to need in a minute is the ancestral colander to strain the pasta. This belonged to my grandmother, and I believe it may have been her mother's before her. So it could be, I mean, it could be 100 years old, this. I just don't know. A lot of people inherit a Rembrandt or a big house in Scotland. I get a colander. And from my other grandparents on the other side of the family, here we go. I inherited this baked bean, sorry, not baked bean, runner bean slicer. See, you push them through there and they come out stringy. Blunt as a bastard and completely useless these days, but, you know, it's an heirloom. Right. Right, this is working very well. The clock has just passed 10 minutes, so we can stop that and put it away. Turn the bacon right down. It's starting to get a bit crispy. That's wonderful. Now, with the pasta, this is where the little jug becomes important. Put a tiny splash of that water, I would say 1.5 egg cups full, in there, no more than that. Then, I'm just going to do this out of shot, strain the pasta in Grandma's colander, toss it backwards and forwards, do the colander in the pan a bit. Now some people say you should now douse it in cold water to stop it cooking, or rinse it in hot water to get rid of starchiness, but keep it hot. I actually find that the slight stickiness of the pasta is good for the finished event. Put it back on the heat just for a moment, just to dry off that bit of excess moisture. That bacon's looking fantastic. Fry that bacon. Oh, you don't even need to tell you when bacon's fried. I mean, it looks like fried bacon. Pasta. Dried out. Now, what we're going to do now is put the pasta in the pot that had the bacon in. Don't put the bacon in the pasta one. Put the pasta in the bacon one, because the bacon pan has got lots of nice juices and stuff in it. So we'll turn off, which is the one at the back, is that one. Right, in goes the pasta. Possibly hadn't dried that out quite enough. Stir it up so that the bacon bits are mixed up with the pasta. Everything is nice and hot, remember. There are bits escaped, never mind, can I get it back? Let's see, this is a bit of a test as well. Yes, that's nice and al dente, that bit of pasta. I'm not going to get it, am I? I can feel from my knife point that it's still slightly full. Okay, heat off, very important. The flame is gone, but remember the pan is still hot, the sides of the pan are hot, base of the pan is very hot. The pasta and the bacon in the pan are nice and hot and mixed up together. Now, this is the tricky bit. Will it work? 4 times out of 5 it does, but I expect it'll be a balls up on this occasion. Tip your mixture swiftly into that pan, stirring as you go. Whoa! Get in. You don't want it to scramble, or it might have scrambled a tiny little bit. I don't know. That looks quite good. You've got a coating of eggy loveliness all over your pasta with just a little hint of it going fluffy at the edges. Superb. Right. Water that you took from the pasta dish. Put some of that in. Actually, not as much as I said, about that much. 1 egg cup full. This just helps spread the mixture around a bit, coat everything. Yeah. Yummy. Right, I've had a plate in the oven. Let's see what it's like. Roughly what it should look like. You might want to arrange it on the plate a little more artistically. A bit of penne, there's a bit of bacon on there and a bit of eggy stuff. The good thing about using penne rather than spaghetti, apart from that it's easier to eat, the juice gets inside the tubes, which is nice. Hold on. Yeah, not bad at all. And it's 8:30, my missus hasn't come home, so that means 2 portions for me. She might have left me, of course.